Welcome to my channel. My name is London and happy Thanksgiving. I'm going to be showing you the fall Thanksgiving look that I've been doing for the last few weeks. I've been seeing Bunny, I've been seeing models do this, I've been seeing Rihanna do this, but it's basically like a really warm orangey blush, kind of focused right here, following into the eyes, and I've been totally digging it. So let's get into it. So I'm going to be taking the Tarte bronzer in like a teeny little bit. I don't use this one a lot because it's super warm. It's in the shade Hotel Heiress. I'll put it up there. I don't know how to pronounce anything, but I'm using this one because it is a bit warm for me. I already went ahead and contoured, but I just want to bronze a little bit. Is anybody else getting dandruff from the weather changing? This is so annoying. Get out of my hair. Right here is where you want to focus everything. And then you want to lightly blend out to your cheeks, but most of everything is going to be focused right in here. And I'm doing my brows last because I will get a ton of stuff in my brows if I'm not careful. So I'm going to take the Anastasia Subculture palette in the shade Dawn right there, and I'm going to put this all into my crease. But I would like you guys to tell me down below what you guys are doing for Thanksgiving. Are you just gonna hang out with your family? Are you hanging out with your boyfriend, your husband? Are you seeing your parents? What's going on? So I'm doing this a bit messy since we are gonna be carrying it into this area. I'm not really focusing on a really good like stopping point, I guess. Kind of grungy. Now I'm just gonna take that same color underneath my eyes. Again, not really being precise with it. So now that I have the eyes kind of laid out, I'm going to take the Fenty Beauty, the Killawatt Holiday palette, and I'm going to be taking Honey Slope, this one right here, and I'm going to use this as a blush. I'm going to take a bit on the brush and just focus it right in that part where I told you about earlier. Doing this kind of helps to show you where to stop with your eyeshadow or where to blend more. So now I'm going to be taking New Wave from the Subculture palette with the same brush, and we're just going to go a little bit lower than where we took Dawn. It's okay if it gets on the lid. Remember, it's like grungy, messy. But I wanted to share what I am doing. I am thankfully off of work this year. Last year I had to work Thanksgiving night, but this year I have off. So me and my parents and my brothers are gonna go over to my aunt and uncle's house, and a couple of cousins are gonna come over, and we're just gonna hang out, watch football, eat, take naps. Pretty much what we do every year is we go over to somebody's house, somebody comes a little bit later. Like, some of my family likes to have like their own individual Thanksgiving and then go and see all of the family members like around dessert time, I guess, which I am perfectly fine with that. My boyfriend is not going. His brother is a firefighter and he is working Thanksgiving, and he is gonna celebrate Thanksgiving the day after. So again, just being super messy with it, really focusing on blending it out on the edges here. Now I'm gonna take All Star and I'm gonna put this all over my lid. Another thing that me and my family like to do for Thanksgiving is we share some stories and we talk about what's been going on because we don't get to see each other all the time. So we kind of catch up on everything. So I thought I would share some stories with you guys on my life. I was thinking about a few stories that I could tell, and the one that kind of stuck out to me that I thought was kind of funny but really stressed me out at the time was, if you guys don't know, I'm a licensed cosmetologist and I'm also a makeup artist. So I was on a commercial, or I was doing makeup for a commercial, and I woke up super early in the morning and I was doing hair and makeup. And so I was getting all prepped up, and a lot of the times they don't really have a designated place, so I was getting set up in the bathroom so that I could do all the models' hair and their makeup. Now I'm just gonna take a fluffy brush with All Star and just start to blend it out. And so they're telling me like the skit and everything, and they told me that they told the models not to really do their makeup. And I was like, all right, cool, like this is great. I won't have to like really fix anything. So I thought. And so the first model comes, and she's like the main person of the commercial. And she comes in with her mom, and she's about 15 years old. And let me remind you, it's like early in the morning. It's still dark outside, and I'm doing her makeup and stuff in like a bathroom with not the best lighting in the world. And she comes in, and she's 15 years old, and she's like your basic bleach white blonde hair and like super tan with like 20 coats of mascara on. Like that kind of person. We all know that kind of person. I'm telling you. We all know them. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, oh, so what did you use for your makeup? Da 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 da. Because my instant main concern for her makeup was that it was very contrasting. So her hair was a very pale yellow and her face was super bright orange, and then she had blue eyes, and she was supposed to be talking about a product, so we don't want her to be the main focus of the commercial. We want the product to be the main focus. And so I'm like, oh well, we need to like balance this out and stuff. So I'm like asking her about what she's using, and I'm like going around and trying to like highlight and even out her skin tone. And I start to notice that something is not right around her hairline. And I'm sitting there and I'm doing it and it gets like really, really orange. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, when was the last time that you got a spray tan? And she's like, oh, I got one last night. I'm like, oh God. You got one last night. Oh, that's wonderful. I'm just taking the same All Star underneath my lash line. And I'm like, great. So this freaking color is, your spray tan is probably still developing. And the makeup that I just put on your face and the makeup that you put on your face is causing it to go really orange. Like, oh God. Of course this happens to me. First person, and there's already a problem. So I'm doing it, and then by the time that I think that I fixed it, we go outside and it is so much worse outside. Oh my gosh, I'm telling you, it was so bad. And then as the day started to kind of go on, I started noticing like her little baby hairs started turning orange. I was like, what the heck kind of spray tan did you do? Like, did you do it by yourself? Like, why is this developing so bad? And she didn't take a shower. Because most of the time, if you're doing a commercial or you're going to be doing stuff where you would need a tan, you would take a shower 3 hours after you did a spray tan, so it kind of like stopped developing. So me and the director like sitting there and we're like looking at her stuff, and I'm like, oh gosh, this is so bad. And then the poor little thing was so nervous already, and she was orange, and I was lecturing her on that for the next photo shoot that she does, that she probably shouldn't get a spray tan and just leave it. And then she had to wear this white shirt commercial, and it made it so much worse. So much worse. It was so bad. And then what ended up happening was after she was done with all of her script, one of the guys from the filming stuff came over to me and was like, oh, hey, we just called this other person that we casted and they're gonna come over and they're gonna do it. Like, oh, okay. And so this other lady comes, she's a lot older, and she has like pin straight black hair, and like her eyebrows are like drawn on like this, and I'm like, okay, great, this is wonderful. And then I had to fix all of that. Another thing with that same photo shoot is that this guy, it was hot outside, we were outside for this photo shoot, or not photo shoot, for this commercial, and the guy, one of the guys, kept sweating, like really sweating, and I was trying everything that I could possibly think of, like sweat-proof makeup, really setting it with powder. I was going in between scripts and like patting him down dry, and he's just like, don't you have anything that's just gonna stop me from sweating? And I was like, what on earth just makes you stop sweating? I was like, you can go get Botox and like armpit situation. I don't know how to stop making you sweat. Like, what do you mean I need to stop making you sweat? That is the strangest, such a strange thing for people to ask from me. So now I'm just gonna go. So I'm gonna take the Fenty Beauty Mean Money and the Hustler Baby, and I'm gonna take Mean Money and lightly highlight everywhere. So that's pretty much the gist of that story, where if you're doing makeup, you do not want some spray tanned girl coming up. And so now I'm going to be taking the Mimosa Sunrise from Fenty Beauty and that same brush that I just used, and I'm going to be focusing it right on the edge of where I stopped my eyeshadow. And I'm doing this mainly to get it diffused. The sun is slowly creeping in on me and I don't like it at all. So now I'm going to be taking the Fenty Beauty highlighting brush, stroking that in there, and I'm going to put this right on the top of where my eyeshadow is, I guess. Now I'm going to go back into the Honey Slope, build that back up. The Becca Light Chaser highlight in Champagne Dream Flashes Bellini, and I'm gonna highlight my inner corner with this. I'm also gonna kind of go over the orange just a tad bit where my arch of my brow is, and then I'm gonna go into Heartburn, and I think I want to put this on my lid. Does anyone else get kind of impatient with brushes sometimes, where sometimes I can be super patient and I can really sit here and work on something, and then other times I'm just like, I just want it done. And then I'm gonna take Stone Cold and I'm gonna put this right on the edge here. Pop of something kind of unexpected. I already did my brows and my mascara. I'm just gonna go and do a little last minute touch-ups with the Hourglass Volume 3, and I wanted to share one more story with you guys. So all of this happened when I was in cosmetology school. So my cosmetology school, you would go out on the floor and you would do people's hair and stuff your last semester there. I had this older client that wanted a perm. I was like, all right, let's do this. And so I go and I like section her hair out and everything. And I got the rollers and I did like 3 rollers of the perm. And she starts like doing this kind of thing. And so I'm like trying to like politely pull her head up. I tried to talk to her to ask her to hold her head still. And and this old lady, or older lady I should say, was falling asleep, and I was like, oh no. How, like, perms are not super fast. You gotta like do the processing solution, you gotta section out the hair, you gotta do all this stuff. I'm like, oh gosh. And so she cannot stay awake for anything. So I just end up like whenever she starts falling asleep, so when you're doing a perm, you like section out a thin piece of hair and you got like the roller and you gotta pull it pretty grip. What is that called? A lot of tension on the hair. You gotta get a lot of tension and then you gotta roll it right so there's nothing like sticking up. You gotta make sure that the roller is like secure on the head. And so what I started doing is when I was like putting the curler in and she would start falling asleep, I would like pull her head up to get her to wake up. And I was like, girl, what are you doing? You wanted to come get your hair and you're falling asleep? Like, oh my gosh. And then I had one of my instructors ask me afterwards how it all went. And I was like, well, she kept falling asleep. She's like, oh, that's the old people do that. And I'm like, okay, the old people just do that. I think I went kind of a vampy lip for this. Ah, what should I do? I want a Fenty lip. Or should I do bite? The struggle is real. We're gonna take the Fenty Lip Mattemoisell and Griselda Freckled Fiesta and put this in the center. Oh, that is so cool. Oh my god. Oh Lord. My favorite fall lip at the moment, right now. I'm gonna do this so often now. Y'all have no idea. Alright, so this is the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed everything. But I hope that everyone has a great Thanksgiving, whether you're gonna be spending it alone or with family or just with another person. And hopefully you can find my video interesting. Maybe you can play with some makeup if you're stuck at home bored on Thanksgiving. But thank you for watching and don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Also subscribe to my channel to see more videos like this. And don't forget to let me know in the comments what you're doing for Thanksgiving. And I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.